with story number 3. It's a rock block of Elden Ring news. Steven, are you a Nightreign person?
No.
Good, me neither, so it's fine. Don't worry, we're in good company. We can report the news and get the hell out of here. Of course, it's officially out today for everyone. You can go get it. You can do the dang thing. But IGN reports over there from Wesley Ian Poole. That's right. WYP at IGN. Elden Ring Nightreign sells 2 million units on its first day. Elden Ring Nightreign sold 2 million copies on its first day. Quote, pre-orders and early sales have pushed the game beyond the incredible 2 million unit sales milestone, publisher Bandai Namco announced. The multiplayer co-op spin-off released overnight and soon shot up the Steam most played chart with an impressive 313,593 peak concurrent users. That doesn't tell the whole story, of course, with both Microsoft and Sony withholding Xbox and PlayStation player numbers. But From Software has now given an idea of just how big Elden Ring Nightreign is with the announcement of 2 million copies sold already. But it's not all great news. In a separate IGN article, they had this one paragraph, but it also came with a number of negative reviews. 67% of the reviews are positive so far, most of which point out, so that was in parentheses. So it also came with a bunch of negative reviews, most of which point out that Elden Ring's Nightreign lacks duos or 2-player co-op and voice chat. So they're just being whiny babies as always, Steven.
I just pulled up the press release. I just want to share this because it's amusing, if I may.
Please, of course.
This is what Bandai Namco said. They said Elden Ring Nightreign, the standalone multiplayer co-op action survival game by From Software Inc. and publisher Bandai Namco Entertainment Inc. is now available to players, having already surpassed the milestone of 2 million units. Having already surpassed the milestone of 2 million units. Notice what they're not using there.
Sold. They didn't say sold.
Like what? And yet I don't think this game is on any subscription service. So I don't know why they're avoiding using that word. But it's interesting they're not using that word.
They copy. Yeah, you're right. I guess because they would have shipped more than 2 million.
Past the milestone of 2 million units. I don't know. It's just a weird way that game companies talk. They want to do everything they can to avoid just telling you.
They don't want to give you an actual fact. They don't want to give you a hard fact. They want to give you a little bit. This is what's happening over there. This is what's happening over there. We surpassed it.
Hey, we surpassed 2 million units. Maybe people looked at the box art 2 million times.
Yeah, interesting one on that one, to say the least. Good numbers, obviously. Of course, review bombing. I'm so over review bombing.
Like, you're not doing it anymore? You retired from review bombing?
It didn't do anything I wanted it to do, it turns out. So I was like, I don't got time for this. It's just like, come on, do your thing. Let's move on to another Elden Ring Night story. Elden Ring Nightreign's next patch will improve the experience of playing alone. This is Thomas over at GameSpot. Bandai Namco Entertainment and From Software have just released Elden Ring Nightreign and are already teasing its first post-launch update. Patch 1.02 is scheduled to release sometime next week and will improve the solo experience of playing this co-op game. Quote, next week, patch 1.02 will be released and will include several bug fixes as well as improvements for solo expeditions, the official Elden Ring account on X explained. While the full patch notes won't be released until next week, the account did tease some important updates coming to solo expeditions in Nightreign. After patch 1.02, solo players will be able to revive themselves once per night boss battle and gain more runes, a form of in-game currency while playing. This has been an ongoing conversation here at Kinda Funny. Of course, Roger was one of the folks who picked up Nightreign during the review period, but he kept trying to jump in and play it solo, and he disliked it so much, he's like, I'm just going to stop. So I'm glad to see they're trying to fix that, I guess.
This is the second straight Elden Ring related release where so quickly after release, what seemed to be the prime design element about it seems to now be getting walked back a little bit through almost immediate patches, right? Elden Ring was uncompromising, as were From Software's prior games. Pardon me if I'm ignorant of rapid kind of course correction patches, but it does not ring a bell. By contrast, Shadow of the Erdtree comes out, reviewers are crushed by its difficulty, and very quickly you have From saying, oh, okay, we'll make it easier. And now you have a game that is ostensibly a co-op game. It's how it's been promoted. It's how it's been designed. Reviewers have noted this game is very difficult to play solo. And you have almost, this is ready to go for the next week patch, or at least small elements that will make it easier for solo players. There's been a kind of a meta discussion around game difficulty, and From Software has been at the forefront of that discussion about developers' vision versus player demands and requests and desires, and where should the two meet, and how uncompromising should either side be. From formerly the exemplar of don't change it, make people kind of meet you where they are, now is becoming the exemplar of change it and meet the customer demand, it seems.
Which is good, and I think, again, launching an online game, a multiplayer game, is such a different beast than a giant single-player open world, which I know there's a little bit of co-op, but you know what I mean, in terms of, like, you need to be Johnny on the spot with patches, updates, this, that, and the other. And then
tuning it. Yeah. I mean, you got Marathon coming. You got to be ready.
Oh, man, Marathon is going to swing in here and just be a huge success, I'm sure. It's not going to be another colossal PlayStation failure.
This episode is brought to you by Mood. Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges. From sleepless nights to stress-filled days, Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code KINDAFUNNY. I've been having a great time trying out their different gummies, and I'm loving how each one feels. Their Sleepy Time gummies will knock you out in about 15 minutes flat. No hangovers, no grogginess. Not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code KINDAFUNNY. So head to Mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you are dealing with. And please remember to use promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout to save 20% on your first order. Again, that's Mood.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY for 20% off.
And moving on to another Elden Ring Nightreign one for you. This is actually, I lied. It's an Elden Ring movie one. It could reportedly star a Warframe actor. This is Justin Kroll over at Deadline. The highly anticipated Elden Ring movie at A24 and video game company Bandai Namco Entertainment is gaining momentum as director Alex Garland may be zeroing in on a familiar face to lead the epic adaptation. While it is unknown where things stand in negotiations or if a formal offer has been offered, sources tell Deadline that the director has talks with Kit Connor, who recently appeared in his Warframe to star in the adaptation. Sources stress several factors still need to be worked out, including scheduling, but both Garland and Connor want this to happen. It is Warfare, thank you. Demon Hacker said it's Warfare, not Warframe.
Yes, he made a movie about Warframe already.
Here's what's so funny is, like, when I read it, I was like, oh, the headline on GameSpot was Warfare, but I read Warframe, and I was like, I never knew they made a Warframe movie, or that Hollywood stole the name Warframe. And now you're telling me it was a war picture called Warfare, and I've never heard of this motion picture in my life, never. But I'm not a big movie guy, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We're hauntingly similar people in that regard. I got to say, I mean, I guess I'm just a hater in this episode and unimpressed with so much of the news that's being shared. I am weird in that I do not get excited about the games that I like being turned into movies. Like, okay, I'm going to still play the game. I don't.
But you, I mean, like,
I love Zelda. I'm not psyched for the Zelda movie. It's like, it's a game. I want to play it as a game. So I don't know, but again, that's I probably lost the entire audience. What
about Last of Us? You care about that? Is that working for you?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, look, The Godfather is a great movie, and it's like hypocritical to say, because like for me to make this position, because it would suggest that I think it should have just stayed a novel, right, and never become a movie.
Yeah.
But overall, like, people are like kind of lose it when it's like, it's almost like a status symbol, like, oh, this thing has made it, and so I always feel like there's this kind of a baked-in inferiority complex that, like, oh, well, this game wasn't good enough or major enough until it became a movie or it became something else. I'm like, it's awesome as a game.
I like getting into new audiences, I guess. I like seeing, in a world where so many things are being snuffed out because it didn't make enough money for the shareholders, the idea that we're getting more people into it and you're seeing it, and I hate the idea of a transmedia property, but like the idea that you can expand it beyond the already group, I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever.
Hey, look, we praised transfarring, we've praised now transmedia. This is a trans positive show overall, I hope. So
it is. Overall we are trans positive. Don't worry about that. Demon Hacker agrees with you with a super chat. Elden Ring has a promising crew as a movie, but I agree. I'm just not excited. Don't need a movie version of this. I'm still interested to see what they do with it. Like, obviously people creating movies are a lot more creative than me, so I'll be interested to see, but I just like, I don't want you to fight.
Have you seen some movies are not created by people more creative than you, Greg?
Sure, thank you. I appreciate that. But we're just fighting. What's the narrative of this? What's this dude? These games are so weird about their stories. How are you gonna put that in there? I don't know.
I mean, like, should it be a movie where like people who watch the first like run of the movie can put messages into the movie for the people who go see it the next day? That'd be cool.
Jump here. And a final Elden Ring rock block story for you is just a stupid fun one. This comes from Eric Van Allen at IGN. Some Elden Ring Nightreign players are fighting their muscle memory from the original Elden Ring's controls and chugging flasks by mistake. Elden Ring Nightreign is out, and players are already diving into the shifting lands to fight the Night Lord. If they warmed up a bit on the original Elden Ring, though, they might be finding themselves a little turned around by some control changes. While the controls in Elden Ring Nightreign are mostly the same as the original Elden Ring, a few changes have been made, either to accommodate new abilities or simply move things around a bit. Some of these are just for new moves or updated versions of old tools. One in particular, though, seems to be causing at least a little confusion: the flask. And from Software's Souls games and Elden Ring, the flask is a mainstay of your kit, a refillable potion holder that acts as your main source of healing in combat. Usually the flask is one of several consumables, and you'd cycle through them and use them mid-combat. In Elden Ring Nightreign, the flask is a static element. You hit the leftmost face button, X or square, depending on your controller, drink it by default, while up on the D-pad becomes your use item option. And so everyone right now is confused, apparently, and there's a million things they had in this IGN article of people accidentally drinking flasks. And I thought that was very funny.
I like that. Yeah, Eric Van Allen's a terrific reporter as well. For Kotaku, once he did a whole story about how somebody had duct taped themselves to a ceiling. And it was like a famous photo from like a Counter-Strike LAN party.
I remember that one.
He found the guy who was duct taped to the ceiling. Like,
I remember this article.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.